Hey guys, this is the Bostonian Critic, and happy Easter. And I guess I never talked about this movie, huh? Hop. A lot of people have already talked about it so far, so what the hell? Let me talk about my personal thoughts about the film. Oh man, it was made by Illumination Entertainment, yeah, the guys who made Despicable Me, and the other films. I really do enjoy Illumination as a movie studio. The only film I haven't seen yet is what do you call it? What was it? Yeah, Secret Life of Pets 2. I have it on digital HD right now. Or well, I've had it on digital HD for a while, so I have yet to see it, but I have seen my mother watch it. Seen that movie a lot lately. Alright, so I'll get to that when I get to that soon. Because I'll probably have to add. I'm just gonna have to add it into the movies that I gotta see. Like that I get for the 2019 list, along with the Rise of Skywalker. So you're gonna have to wait a while for that to happen. So, let's talk about the movie Hop. This was directed by. Actually, I'll talk about the director in a minute. So the story. Get a load of this. Was the main our main character EB, played by Russell Brand, a character who shares the same last name, and for a certain guy that's talking right now. But otherwise, he is about to be crowned the Easter Bunny by his father, played by Hugh Laurie, but he doesn't want to be the Easter Bunny because he wants to be a drummer, a rock star. So he goes and runs away from home and goes to, of course, L.A. To become a star. And while that's going on, his brother, no, not his brother, his friend Fred, played by played by James Marsden. Well, they don't get along with each other at first. They bump into each other, or because Fred got kicked out of the house by his mother and father. His mother, played by Elizabeth Perkins, but his sister, played by Penny, Penny, Penny. Wait, she tells him that her boss that she works for is leaving for a trip for a weekend, and she was supposed to watch his mansion for the week as well, but decides that Fred should do that while also trying to find a job, and a place to live in. And so he does that, but accidentally bumps into EB, and then of course EB, he fakes his own injury and stuff, to find a food and shelter and stuff. They don't get along at first, and then they do try to find some way to get along, and then they try to succeed, and then while that's going on, there's a bad guy named Carlos, played by Hank Azaria, who wants to be crowned the Easter Bunny as well, and wants to take over the rest of the entire land. So, yeah, heard of that story before? And it's super, super generic. The only reason, the main character who is tired of his own environment, wants to go to a different environment, and wants to fulfill his dreams, and then they bump into a character, or that we do come across, and then they don't get along at first, and then they trying to find, and then they do get along, and then they go and stop the bad guys and stuff. We've seen that a million times. It's a typical buddy flick. And plus, this is also the second time that James Marsden stars in a movie that has an animated character, like an animated CG character. First off, it was done before in Enchanted, and then this film came out a few years after, and then years after, he starred as a cop in Sonic the Hedgehog, which of course you already know I love that movie. Enchanted is great too, but that is the biggest issue with the film, the story itself. So so I guess that is the only biggest problem, and so I guess I am done on bitching and moaning about the story itself. The stuff I do like about the film that does make me kind of enjoy it, is the main character EB, who I really like him, and I love his performance by Russell Brand. But if you want to see him at his best performance, I know you could say Dr. Nefario from Despicable Me and Despicable Me 2. But if you want the best, in my opinion, I say watch him in that movie, the Bedtime Stories, the Disney film with Adam Sandler. He is hilarious in that one. The other stuff I like the characters, I like the acting. Fred is pretty likable as well. And the villain Carlos, of course, Hank Azaria gives that a fun performance. Once and Hugh Laurie is enjoyable as the Easter Bunny, even though he's not in it for that long, including the main villain as well. But the pink berets that his father, that EB's father, sends out, they're super adorable, and that's the best thing about the film, the adorableness, and also the animation and the ingenuity. Like the animation from Illumination actually pretty much amplified in this film. They still amplify with their quality, in terms of their animation on what do you call it? When on the way the design of the animals and the way their textures and stuff, they're really fantastic. And even the blending of live action of animated animation is really good too. Obviously, I still prefer Who Framed Roger Rabbit out of this one. But what do you call it? But I also really like the beginning. I really like the Candy Factory as well. It's kind of like you're watching, like, the movie itself is kind of like watching um another version of the Santa Claus movies. And like I said about the story itself, the only reason why this story was like, the only reason why we have this kind of story, because the director himself, Tim Hill, did the Alvin and the Chipmunks. Well, not to say he not only also did that movie, but he also directed Muppets from Space. But that was actually a bit of a hit with critics, but more like average mixed reviews as well. And he also directed I think he directed both Garfield movies, both live action Garfield movies with Bill Murray. But that's the reason why we have that kind of story here, because Alvin and the Chipmunks was a big hit at the box office, and this one was also a big hit at the box office as well. So I already that's one of the things I forgot to mention about in this video, like who directed it and the reason why that we have this kind of generic plot. But the comedy, I do have to admit, it does get some really good line. I mean, I do think they can be pretty funny jokes, but they're some of them are really funny. Oh yeah, and they get a really good laugh. Some of them some of them do get some good chuckles, but other ones they do fall kind of flat though. And a little bit of a lowbrow humor at times. But luckily, it's not to say that the film is cringeworthy or anything. I can see how people cannot necessarily like this one. In my opinion, when I like it, but this is more of a film that I would rather just pop in every Easter. That's the best way for myself. So, overall, I personally think Hop is passable. I think it's I think it's a pretty passable flick. If you like movies, if you did like the guy who directed Alvin and the Chipmunks, who also I forgot to mention as well, also helped out with SpongeBob. If you like movies that have cutesy animals and stuff, I say this is not that bad of a movie to check out. But if you love it, more power to you. But if you are a fan of Easter, I say at least like pop it in every Easter, and maybe you'll get some good entertainment out of it. So if I did have to like rank it or something, I was thinking of a 6 out of 10. But the more I thought about it, the more I kind of remember like enjoying it a little bit more than the first few times I've seen it. So I'm just gonna go with a 6.5 out of 10. Technically, it is good, but it's not that great. Right, so that's my full-on thoughts. If you have seen the movie, what did you think? Just comment below. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe and share the video, and have a great Easter. And I will see you later on. I'm the Bostonian Critic, and I'm signing out. Take care.